do you want to go on your rant now?
You are spawning in a mech from the sky. This should do some decent damage.
Fate not getting player of the match.
Who got it?
It went to Fleta.
Fleta.
I feel a little cheated.
I haven't seen these guys in forever.
Hello and welcome to the Overwatch League 2021 Player Roundtable presented by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League. I'm your host, Custa. I am joined here by the beautiful Space from the LA Gladiators and Gator from the Atlanta Reign. So, thank you very much for joining me. We got the tanks here. What were your expectations for coming into 2021? Because you both have upgraded your rosters a lot. So let's start with you, Space, because you got a lot of players coming from a lot of places. Are you guys expecting to win? Is that the number one goal for this season?
Yeah, definitely the number one goal is just to win, and we've all wanted to win. Like the players that have been here since the start of the league, all of us trying to get a chip with, especially with Moth trying to get his three-peat. A little bit underwhelming at the start. I feel like we started pretty slow, but we're just kind of build up as much as we can and focus on playoffs and finals.
Space, a gigantic self-destruct guarantees the Gladiators a chance to stay in this map.
That is sick.
Gator, you guys were like this close. You said you were that close to beating Dallas Fuel. It was a couple of different team fights. How do you get that edge? How do you bring that back and improve on top of that?
I think when you get that close, I think you kind of just keep going where you're going and just keep improving on it. That's what we've been doing. Just keep being open, right? To like just everything, just be like adaptable and just make sure that we're practicing all kinds of comps, all kinds of play styles. Fuel is good at just sticking to what they're good at, but like that can really come back to bite you. Like what happens when they have to play double shield playoffs or something, right? Like you have to be ready for everything, and you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. Us and a lot of other teams are like doing that, and it's kind of hurt them a little bit in a sense that they're not like, they don't one trick a singular comp that's just copping them wins in the regular season.
Gator with the three-piece. Gator playing all the way up into their faces, lays down a shadow.
Space, you guys have a lot of veteran players. So talking about your team, you got Shu coming in from the Guangzhou Charge, you got Moth coming from, going for the three-peat with the Shock, you got you, who sort of came from the Valiant but has already been in the Gladiators, and then you have rookies like Muse as well. So how's that been for the team, having a lot of players from different teams coming under one roof?
The mix has been really good for us because you kind of get a difference of opinions from everyone. Like we all come from different teams and all play different metas and different comps, so you get all these different points of views on the game. We have Moth, who's when he believes in something, he really stands by it and like make sure that it's not like just talked over or like we forget about it, and it's like makes it easier for us to kind of come up with comps and like decide on what we feel like is good or like how to play specific stuff. So you also have Shu, who's like, he's super smart with like a lot of the stuff he calls and like comps and reading metas. He's always been right, so it's just like really good to have that kind of veteran leadership on our team, like calling stuff like that for us.
You started slow, didn't do very well in the main melee. June Joust, it went a lot better. Are you guys happy with the performance? Because you fell to Dallas in the qualifiers 3-1, right? You looked good.
That is going to close it out. The Dallas Fuel are going to be winning the map and winning the series.
I felt like that was probably our moment. If we had won that Dallas match, I feel like we would have really shined through in the actual playoffs of that tournament. I feel like it's kind of just preparing us for the next two tournaments that are coming up and just like making sure that our mental is straight and that we know like we aren't the best we can be right now and we can still get better.
All right, so you heard it here from Indy. If they had beaten Dallas, they would have beaten the Dragons. That's what I just heard. So, Space, I talked to you a little bit and you wanted to bring this up now that we're talking about tanks. Overwatch League, player of the matches, tanks are being slighted. Do you want to go on your rant now, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how Gator feels about it, but I know us on the Gladiators were a little bit mad that Birding got player of the match 3 times in a row, even though, she was doing some nasty things in our matches, and it was just always Birding highlights because, when you click heads, you're the best player in the world. So I don't know how you feel about it, Gator. But
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I feel I feel a little cheated too over here, like. We'll start rounds off saying like, yo, this guy shoots because they're trying to build cold. Next thing you know, this guy's getting player of the match because they're getting fast ults. Like, yo, next time I'm gonna say me shoot only. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, for real.
Like, come on.
There's a little bit of a bias, but I'm not gonna say anything. Just Custa. If you could have a little bit more impact on who gets player of the match, that would be greatly appreciated.
I'm gonna vouch for you guys now. I would do Fate not getting player of the match in that finals of Shanghai versus Dallas felt like an absolute.
Oh, he did it.
Ridiculous.
Who got it?
He didn't. It went to Fleta.
Fleta just getting crushed by Fleta taking the clutch into his own hands.
The 9-time MVP player, 300 player of the match MVP player.
Of course.
whoever is listening who's making these decisions, tanks and supports need some love. Let's go back a little bit even further, because we were all playing back in 2019 when we were playing at the Blizzard Arena. Going from playing on stage all the time, living in Los Angeles, to going from you guys are sort of stuck in the team house and playing online. How has that like changed or shifted your perspective of like the game and playing as a team?
I think last year was rough for everybody just to kind of get used to that, and like you get the feeling that, you know, a lot of, especially for the rookies, I felt the worst for, because, you know, they haven't gotten to experience the crowds, they haven't gotten to experience the events or actually meet any fans, or a lot of these guys don't even have signatures yet, you know? Like, I'm walking up to them like, what's your signature? And they're just writing their name out normally. So now that people have facilities and are kind of more prepared for the online season, we're a lot more used to it, and kind of just like being able to play with each other and not kind of separated has just been a lot much better for everybody, I feel like.
What did you guys think of the Chinese homestand, by the way? Because did you guys get to see much of that Spark stuff? It was pretty ridiculous. Like, just seeing crowds, I was like, what year is this? Like 2019, 2018 again?
Good to see that this is finally happening. It's great to see that the, that Asia in general is finally getting their homestands.
Yeah, give me a group stage on LAN. That'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the year, rather than this thing where we send a couple people. We gotta group up and send a whole squadron of teams somewhere to duke it out, you know? Like,
we really need an event, man. I'm dying over here.
Yeah,
I'm dying over here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these guys in forever, man. It's not looking too hot.
What do you guys think about balance right now in terms of tanks? Like, Indy, we've seen a lot of D.Va as of recently. You know, there was some Xayah, but now D.Va's just better, and then there's sputterings of Sigma.
I'd definitely say the off tanks are in a good spot overall. I feel like I think Sigma has always been a super strong 1v1 character, and just like a lot of output damage, a lot of splash damage. If you tweak them too much, they might just be really bad, or they might just be too overtuned. So I'd say overall it's looking pretty good.
There's the power of space going on to D.Va.
What do you think of the D.Va remake? Full bias aside, like, what do you think of the 250 damage?
Honestly, when it first came out, I thought it was going to be really broken, and I thought everyone was going to abuse it. But honestly, you don't really see it that much. It's not used that often, because it's a pretty big risk. And once people kind of realize like that it can happen, they play around it really well. Kind of adds some more threat to the game and makes the character more like realistic, because you are spawning in a mech from the sky. That if you're near that, it should do some decent damage, I feel like.
Let's look forward to Summer Showdown. Hero pool's no longer a thing. We got Zenyatta, Reinhardt, Tracer, and Sombra back in the mix. Where's the meta going?
I feel like it could go anywhere at this point. I think Double Shield could be good, the Ryan comps could be good, the Winston comps could be good. Like, I think we'll see a lot of variety with this next tournament, and I think teams will kind of just try and play what's their strengths, you know, like what really works for them. Because I think what Dallas has kind of shown a lot of us is that you don't want to like force the meta on yourself. You don't want to play like what's not to your strengths, and kind of just figure out the comps that work best for you.
We're going to Overwatch 2 5v5. We're losing one of the tanks. You guys are a main tank and an off tank. Do you think it's going to be good for the game in the long run?
I think it'll be fun. I actually think it'll be cool to like solo tank, but at the same time, it's just like there's like a preference of like a lot of pro players where they just kind of like there's like an enjoyment in seeing tanks working together. You'll never get a pull rock again. You'll never get a monkey jump with like a bubble or like get pocketed by a D.Va, right? Like you just lose a lot of like the enjoyment of just like a style of play that just won't be there anymore. If it was a preference for me, I would have thought 3 tanks would be cool, right? At the same time, I don't mind like a solo tank getting buffed and you just go run around and terrorize every 200 HP target on the map, right? That sounds pretty cool too. Yeah, I think going forward, I think it's not a bad change.
I'm excited to see how the flow of the game changes as a whole. As a competitor in the Overwatch League, it definitely sucks, like Gator said, to not be able to duo with your tanks ever again. You know, you'll always be like either one of you is benched or you'll be enemies. Basically, you'll never get to play with all the tank duos, or like in the future I'll never get to tank up with Gator, because you know it's gonna be 5v5, so we'll be playing at different times. But that kind of sucks, but it's also like it opens up a new kind of pathway for us, so I'll just see how it goes. I feel like when the time comes.
Thank you very much for joining me, Space Gator. You guys have been awesome. That's a wrap on our Overwatch League 2021 Player Roundtable presented by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League. We'll see you next time.